why I get easy to the negative side more than positive side, because my business, or I don't know, my feeling goes to the all the time take from the world more than good things, more than positive side.
See, this is a old habit that normally the mind has to go to the negative side. It's a habit of mind, because there the mind gets the juice to fight, to change. Why there is no answer? Because it is a natural nature of the mind. Everybody, it's not that you have it, everybody has the same. Only if you are aware of it, then consciously you start changing from negative to the positive. In the unconscious state of mind, this is a natural state of mind to be negative, always. But when you are conscious that now you are more negative, don't go into the question why you are more negative, because that is the way when you are unconscious and with the mind always goes with a negative side, always looks to the negative side. Not only to the other, but to within yourself also, you find what is wrong with me. You don't see what is good with you, you see. So this is the nature of mind when you are into that unconscious mind state, and that is natural. But when you wake up and see yourself that you have this negative attitude towards everything, then consciously you can make an effort. Whenever it goes back to the negative, you can see the positive side also. You see, suppose now the mind goes to see within, to see the negative side, that I have anger, I have jealousy, I have this, I have that. Then see again to the positive side, that you have love, you have beauty, you have so much of affection, so much of this, you see the positive side. So there, slowly, you can change it. But that is same mind you use for going to the positive side, you see. But then there is no reason why the mind goes negative, because that is the nature of mind. That is the nature of mind. But you can change the nature by a conscious effort from negative to the positive. But that is not the full point there. If you really want to go beyond this, beyond the mind, then instead of changing this positive to negative, accept your negativity that you have a negative mind. Okay. So you are not now trying to change it. Then automatically a change will start happening. So there are two ways. One is a conscious effort, but that also is a part of mind. Then it is a long process to change, then to change the hypnosis. But if you really want to, the transformation should happen by itself, then at that moment when you realize that you have a negative mind, you have all the time you see negative, then just say yes to that negativity and stay with it. That staying will keep you awake, and slowly that clarity, the awakening will not allow you to go to that negative side automatically.
Because I compare that with people have a more open the heart and then get more positive things from the people.
Well, that's also
same.
See, mind always goes into a comparison. Always goes into comparison. That is the nature. There are a lot of things that the mind has its own nature. Fear is the nature of mind. Greed is all that bad qualities, negative qualities is not the quality of the mind. It is the mind itself. The whole structure, that what we call the negative structure, is the mind itself. You understand what I am saying?
Yes.
So, and that one of the cause or one of the nature of that structure is to compare. Always to compare. And that comparison comes because you have a fixed idea about something which is perfect. The inner desire of the mind to become perfect, you see, very subtle desire that mind has to become perfect. So how can I become perfect unless I have the idea what is perfect? So some idea that you have taken as truth within you, and you create a reference point, and from that reference point every time you compare. Like life has drawn a line which has its own length. What you do is you draw a bigger line close to that line. That is the idea or the ideal that we create, a goal that we create, and then always you want to be like that. You create a bigger line and you want to stretch your own line. But there you are not successful. That is why you get frustrated. And the frustration again is the food for the mind, because the more it grows, frustration, tension, stress, this is the food for the mind to survive. So it always goes into that direction where it starts finding out where can I get this tension, where can I get this stress, where can I get the frustration. This is all the root cause there, which is based on the nature of mind. See, but that nature of mind you cannot change. You cannot change. Only what you can change is the whole identification that you have created with that whole structure. The difference will be when you accept it, you will be conscious that you are having that structure inside. You see, that will be the difference. When you are identified with it, you become that. So then you say, I am in stress, I am suffering, I am in pain, I have this anger. This I identifies with the everything that is there into that structure. The moment you say yes, this I separates. And then it starts seeing it. It starts be conscious of it. That is the difference. When you are conscious of it, the things that is happening inside is going to happen the same way. But you are not going to go into a chain of reactions which is born out of non-acceptance, which is naturally happening inside that structure, and then you create a chain of reactions by non-accepting this structure. So there is a fight inside. That is a comparison there. You understand? Are you with me? I am taking you inside your mind.
Yeah.
So this is this whole situation inside. Now you cannot be free from that, but you can be free from the whole identification that has happened. When you are free from the identification, then you are aware that this is there. Then if you get identified, then the disturbance inside will disturb you. The pain inside will make you in pain. The stress inside will put you into stress. But if you are detached from it, then you are aware of the stress, but it will not put you in stress. You are aware of the pain, but it will not put you in pain. Then you are aware of disturbance, you are aware of the pain, you are aware of this tension, everything is there. But then you are not further going to fight with it, to change it, to alter it, but you are just seeing it, you are just witnessing it. And there, slowly, when you don't nourish with non-acceptance, it will settle by itself. It has its own nature to settle. Like you have a muddy water and you go on stirring because you identified with the water. Because you and water, you don't like it, you like it, then you go on stirring. If you take away your finger from the water and accept it, what will happen? The mud will settle by itself. You understand what I am saying?
Yeah.
So you have to take out the finger. Now when you put the finger in the water, muddy water, and you go on cleaning it with your stirring, because you don't accept that it should be clean water. You understand what I am saying?
Yes.
So the technique is to take out the finger and let the water, the mud settle by itself. This is how. The water cannot be free from the mud. This is not possible. You cannot throw away the mud. You have to live with the mud. The mind is a mud inside. So you have to accept that there is a mud there, but then you know how to remain free from that mud. So take out your finger. Take out all the effort that you want to do something to the mind. The more we do something to the mind, it is stirring, and you keep that water muddy all the time. The water means your consciousness. You means that consciousness. The consciousness is mixed with this muddy water, you see. So that is why we are not able to see exactly what is the water. Where is the water? It's all mud. All mind inside. But if you let go, if you allow it to settle, then it will settle by itself. By itself. There you have not to put any effort that let me now try to bring the mud down. That is not possible. You cannot do it. So you have to live with the mud. That's all. So whenever you need some information that is the mud, you stir it, you get some information of the mud there, you enjoy it, you use it, and let that mud settle again by itself. So this is how the inner consciousness and mind functions. What you need is to understand the nature of both. You understand the nature of mud and you understand the nature of water. Once you understand the nature, then stop stirring, stop doing anything. Accept it. Then automatically, as I said before, that if you say that you have a negative mind, accept it, you take out your finger, then this mind will become quiet by itself, automatically. Is it clear?
I have a question concerning this. When you say understanding, do you mean in this moment to understand why there was mud coming up?
Understanding is a part of the nature of consciousness. To collect the knowledge and accumulate there is the nature of mind. So first, as we are all expressing consciousness, as we are all expressing that life force, so far as we are living, that has its own nature to understand. The moment you look, along with your looking, what happens? You understand something. Then you use the mind to define it, what you are looking at. Like you see now, that is the clarity that there is an ocean, there are trees, beautiful sky. This is the understanding. And that understanding, then you want to define it. You want to understand what you are seeing. Then you use the mind, that is the knowledge area, where you have accumulated the information. A child, when it looks, as a child has no information accumulated as a knowledge, it just looks, just looking. That is just understanding. Now, because the word understanding implies, along with the knowledge, we misunderstand this word. Understanding means something which has gone very clear inside. It will come to your help the moment it happens. That reminds you.
It's like some positive spaces and negative spaces. So suppose you give more time to positive spaces, then is it possible to get rid of negative spaces or something like that?
It is natural. Whenever the life is changing and moving, it starts giving you same kind of vibrations which activates your inner. It is not that you only stir with your finger, but also the wind around. Everything is affecting the surface of the water, that is surface of the consciousness, and accordingly this mud inside goes on moving. So it is not in your hand to remain into the positive or to remain into the negative. It is the way life is changing and moving, the way events are changing, the way vibrations are you received at the sensation point, the way sensations is happening. Everything is interdependent, everything is naturally happening. Only what is required is your understanding clearly that anything that is naturally happening, don't disturb it. Don't disturb it. You just be witness to that what is now happening. The moment you demand something, that demand comes very subtly from the non-acceptance of the way it is happening. Even if you say that you want to be remaining in positive, that means you are non-accepting the negative. Sometimes life brings you into that state of negative. Sometimes the life brings the state of positive. It is just the changing moods of the life which changes your inner moods. You see. But we are somewhere having a fixed idea that this is bad, this is good, this is right, this is wrong. And we create a choice out of it. And we want to throw away what is wrong, what is bad, and we want to possess what is good and what is right. This is our unconscious effort without understanding, without knowing. That is our ignorance, that we have no control of that natural moods changing. Suddenly, without any reason, your mood changes. Suddenly, you have experienced so many times that without any cause, without any reason, your mood changes. Someday you get up in the morning and you are not in a mood. And someday you get up in the morning, you are in a so nice mood. Nothing has happened actually, but the whole mood is. Then you say, I am not in a mood. What has happened? Then you try to find out what is the cause. That is because the natural changing of the moods around you, natural changing of the energy movement, vibrations around you. We are a part of it. It's not we think that we are separate, but we are a part of the whole energy field which is around us and which is flowing also inside us. Like the wave in the ocean. It is the same. Anything happening, all the waves also get the effect. If the sun is very harsh and the water starts becoming hot, even the water in the wave also becomes the hot. Isn't it? So then the wave doesn't think that why my water is hot. We are all waves into this ocean of energy. So whatever is happening at a very greater scale is going to affect each of the expression which is expressing life, which is expressing the energy. That oneness, if you understand, then you just look, you just see that you are just a part of it. You are just a part of it. And everything is just moving the way everything moves. But you are creating your own choice. And this is where you separate yourself and you suffer. Because you don't understand.
Kiran, what is creativity? Why people create? Out of joy or out of sexual desire?
When there is a creativity, there is no purpose. If you have a desire, there is no creativity. Creativity means when you are not and something starts flowing through you. You are not means there is no desiring mind. There is no purpose, but something starts flowing through you. That is the creativity. People are not going into creativity because out of joy or out of pain or out of something. They are just making themselves available and something starts flowing. When something starts flowing, that is the real creativity. If you ask a poet, when he is not thinking about something, the poetry starts overflowing within. When you ask a musician, when he is not thinking about any raga or any kind of thing, something starts flowing. Something starts flowing. But that is nothing to do with your joy or sorrow or nothing. But when you want to be free from sorrow and you use the music or use something, that is not creativity. That is not creativity. Creativity is something where you just dissolve. You connect yourself to that universal creativity and something starts flowing through you. Like you open your window and the light of the sun comes in your room. Everything is light. So this is how it happens. You just dissolve. And what we have to learn is not to play music, but to dissolve. How I can dissolve? Then you can use certain mediums to dissolve. Many people have tuning with the music. They use the medium of the music to dissolve. Many people have different mediums. Different mediums. You understand which medium you can use where you can just in tune, you become one with that, and suddenly you disappear. So there you need some to select your medium, which medium can take you. The painters go through the colors, paintings. The poets go through the music or sound. The musicians go with the music. These are all different mediums. These mediums you have to find which medium tunes you. So if you like music, I may not like music. That is not my medium. So maybe you have to find out which medium takes you to that connection. You see, that you have to find out. And once you know it, then you just flow with it, and suddenly you disappear. And something when starts flowing, that is the creativity. But that is nothing to do with your joy or sorrow. Once you want to be free from joy or free from sorrow, or you want to enjoy more, this is mind. When you create a desire, even if you play so much of music with a desire to be free from or to get something, you are not going to get anything. You are not going to get anything. It is an escape. It's an escape. So mind can provide you something to escape, but that is not something which is giving you the real joy or real freedom. And
Yes, because I have both inside me. Sometimes when I'm very tense, I need to paint, I need to do something.
you are using that medium to escape.
I use for draw my energy, for express myself, because I cannot draw on people. I cannot express because people can be shocked in this moment, because it's too much true. I can eat my true, but people cannot eat, it's normal. But sometimes this is like flow and happen. I enjoy, I disappear it when I sing song, I disappear it in it. Because of that I asked you.
Now you try the other way, that without any purpose, you just play and see how you enjoy. There your joy is just a temporary relief that the medium gives you for a time being to be free from your suffering, your pain, whatever is. That becomes like a temporary relief points. But really it is not creativity. Your question is creativity. That is not creativity. It is just you are taking some support to be free from temporarily from your state of pain or suffering, whatever you are.
You know, sometimes we learn that one way to express or get rid of anger is to take a pillow and hit the pillow, or scream into a pillow, or hit the wall, and that way you express.
The same thing, relief walls. They are all relief mediums.
But that's the opposite of what you're saying, where we should just watch the anger and not do anything about it, but just watch it. So that's a completely...
There are two ways. Either you take out something which is giving you pressure, or you become detached from that, detached from the pressure. There are two ways.
There are two ways.
So, in this way, to take out the pressure every time, you get addicted because you do not know what brings the pressure in. You accumulate the pressure and you find out a way to throw out the pressure. Then it becomes like an addiction, that every day you accumulate pressure and at night you fight with the pillow and throw out your anger. You accumulate anger. But that becomes like a game. If you really want to understand, if you learn how to accept, in that acceptance, the cause of that accumulation is totally finished. Because the moment you accept and detach yourself, the cause of the accumulation is the non-acceptance.
So you have to do it each time. In other words, whenever you feel anger, you do it, so that you don't accumulate anything. Right?
Yeah, so then see, accumulation, you are still continuing with the accumulation, because when you are throwing your anger with the pillow, it also begins with the non-acceptance of anger. You don't want this anger, that is why you want to throw away. But in the acceptance, you are doing both ways, that the pressure which is creating the pain, where you are identified, you are in pain. The moment you accept, you separate yourself from the pain, you are aware of the pain, this is one. And secondly, the cause, which is the non-acceptance, also is not there.
What happens with old anger that you have stored, or old pain from?
That's a memory, it's not reality, it's a memory, just a memory. It is not true. It's not true. But mind enjoys because there is nothing left for the mind. If there is no outside anger, then it creates its own inside anger. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Can I ask? Continue. Now I understand that I'm not mine, not need identification, and I'm not my pain, not need identification. But how can I see that it's stuck? Yesterday you told me, sorry to see this in the beginning, that now a pain comes to me and provoke all my behavior. And I can see that I'm starting moving all my acts, it's after. That from pain, it's after come to mind, starting thinking, it create what's from pain. But now I have knowledge only that it's normal for me. You tell it's not me, not pain, not mine. But how can I see when it is beginning, when it starts, that not to be identification with this?
It is rather difficult to find out or to know how it begins. Because the life also demands your temporary attachment. You understand? Life demands your temporary mind. Mind means a temporary identification of the consciousness, which is you, to understand that what is happening and that which is creating the sensation. So that is a natural demand of the mind to get identified, to get attached. That is naturally happening. What we misunderstand, that we can create or make this detachment happen. So as we understand that this is naturally happening, this attachment, we have to understand that how the detachment can also naturally happen. And this is what I am saying, that what makes this detachment happen is your acceptance. The moment you say yes, automatically that which is naturally attached gets detached. Now, how this attachment happens is the way life demands. Life demands your mind. People say that once you are free from the mind is gone. You cannot throw away the mind because it is the necessity of the life itself. Life demands your individuality, life demands your understanding, life demands the information to understand what is happening, what is asked for, what is the action, how you should respond. How do you understand this? Unless you go into that area of your brain where this information is accumulated, who goes, who understands, who finds? At that moment, you are not separate. You are that knowledge. You are that information. The consciousness is like a mirror. It has no existence of its own. But still, it has the nature to reflect. You understand? This is what our inner consciousness is. Wherever it is activated, it becomes one with that. So becoming one or getting attached is the nature, because the life demands. Otherwise, to remain into that state of witnessing all the time is bullshit.
It's not possible.
Not possible. It is not actually the natural state of the life. Sometimes you are attached with the mind. That is, sometimes you are mind and sometimes, but what is happening that we create a permanent mind. And the cause of the creating of the permanent mind is the non-acceptance. If you go on understanding and go on accepting the way it is creating the mind, the way it is coming back, the way it again becomes mind, you go on accepting that way, then you are into the tune, into the harmony, the way life wants to move. You understand what I am saying? So this is the natural way, and this is what the living with a natural state. Natural state means not a state that you are all the time witnessing. Then you are useless. You are just then just a vegetable, you know. Life demands your action. Life demands your response. And that is what the life means. And to respond, to understand what life demands, you need to go into that area of knowledge, into that area of information to understand. So this is naturally happening. Where we are making a mistake is we are constantly keeping this attachment permanently there. And that is the trick of the mind, is the point where you have to accept, we create a non-acceptance. The non-acceptance keeps the attachment somewhere. Because suppose there is something which is happening, which is giving you pain. This happening, you are now attached with the mind where you recognize this is a pain. You recognize now, this is a pain. You recognize that the pain is not good. You recognize that. How do you recognize? Going through that past memories, past experience, past information there. Who recognizes is the consciousness. You understand? So this recognition, if you accept that point, then automatically what life demands by giving you pain is clear. When you are separate from that area of the recognition, a limited area of recognition, and you are available to your natural state where you know what life demands as a response to deal with the pain. What is happening that at that point of pain you recognize, and immediately you offer a choice that I don't like it. I don't like it. What should I do to be free from it? So again you go back to the area of knowledge to find out the answer. You get me what I am saying? So you again get attached to the area of knowledge and remain permanently in search of the answer without understanding the answer is available at your source point, at your understanding point, at your knowing point. So you don't come back to the knowing point, but you are just groping into dark, into the knowledge point. And what you get as an answer is only from the area of knowledge, a limited area of knowledge, and you think that if I find out the answer, and if I follow the answer, and if I go into the action, I will win over, but you cannot. This is the continuous process where continuously life is changing and creating different sensations. So you are all the time getting the information, what is kind of sensation, and you are busy in finding out the solution. Till that time, this is gone. This is gone. But you are still groping into the dark to find out how to deal with the pain. So you create an imaginary memory of the pain, you fight with the memory. This natural pain is already gone. You understand? This is how the mind functions. Life demands you to be just say yes at that moment. There is a pain, yes, there is a pain. You are aware of the pain. Then you find the inner understanding, inner answer, how to deal with that situation. It comes by itself. I hope I make it clear to you. It's a good question.
So mind tries to make the past the present.
Yes.
That's impossible.
And mind has only the area of past, which is accumulation of memories, accumulation of knowledge, and from there we think that we have the answer.
Yes.
But life is now,
Yes.
which is fresh. Your problem is fresh. Your situation is fresh. Your pain is fresh. It is not a repetition of the old pain. And your answers you are searching from the past,
Because that's what
which is not applicable there.
That's not
And this is where we have this confusion, and this is where we have a tension.
This is the constant struggle.
Yeah, constant struggle. Are you with me?
Yes.
Because this is, we are taking a journey with the mind inside.
It's the same pattern, right?
Yeah, same
And
pattern.
it comes back again and again until
Because here it is changing. It is changing by its own momentum, by its own nature. And every moment, what is changed is creating a sensation to your senses. So different kinds of sensations you receive, and then activation of that brain happens. So it is like a natural mechanism that is happening, and illusorily we are caught into this whole area where we think that I have freedom to change, but there is nothing. And this is where we are confused.
And how do you differentiate between accepting pain and wallowing in pain? You know, keeping that pain going, and you know, you accept pain. Okay. Or
When you accept the pain, do not misunderstand. The moment you accept the pain will disappear. It will disappear according to the momentum of life. It has its own momentum. It has its own way of moving. So how long it stays there, it's not in your hand. You cannot do anything to that. You have no freedom to push it back. You have to bear it till it is there. But then the difference is you have no way to change it, but because you go into a reaction and you fight with the reaction to find out how to push it fast, how to remove it fast, then you get identified with the pain and you are in pain. You are with the pain. You are the pain at that moment. So the pain is more painful when you identified with the pain. But when you accept the pain, you are aware of the pain, which is natural pain. It remains there, it is there, it goes, it goes. There you are, the inner state changes. You are not in pain or with the pain or you are the pain, but you are now witnessing the pain. You are aware of the pain. So then you are escaping that psychological pain which is created by rejection of the pain. You see, when you have anger inside, you become angry on the anger. So you create a psychological anger to remove this anger or to deal with the anger. So that psychological reaction, which is a chain of reaction I call it, is more painful than the actual pain. And we are all suffering from that area of psychological disease. So many things that we accumulate.
But that is masochism. Right?
Pardon?
you enjoy from this. You don't want drop. Yeah, but mine don't want drop it this way.
Because the survival of that mind, that the state of identification based on the non-acceptance, it doesn't want to drop it.
Absolutely. You slowly kill my mind.
But the moment you realize it, that it is too much, you see. Is it clear? Please, because we are taking a deep journey with it.
Kiran, how this awareness will come? Whether going into pain totally, or how you will be aware of this pain?
The moment you stop asking how the awareness comes, it is already awareness. Because you, the one who is asking the question itself is awareness. You see. So when you come here and you tell me how you come here, you already come here. It's not separate from you. You are that. You are that awareness. The one who knows is the awareness. The one who is asking, the one who knows that I am asking itself is the awareness. And this is where our confusion is, that we want to experience the awareness. I want to experience myself. This is a wrong language. How can you experience yourself? Do you have any other entity to experience this entity? It's a game. So you sit with an idea that I want to realize myself. It's a spiritual game. How can you realize yourself? Then who is going to realize whom?
It's a game of hide and seek.
Yeah, who is going to realize whom? So the one who realizes that I realize is still not unrealized, still not realized. It is the same thing that I want to go beyond mind. Now the same mind is trying to go beyond mind. Because the moment you create a desire, it is mind. I want to go beyond mind. When you create a want, itself is a mind, and that same mind wants to go beyond mind. Now it is impossible. What we are doing in meditation, we are playing this game.
Because we don't know.
Now I am telling you, you know this, that game is this. You are trying to quieten your mind, you are trying to go beyond mind, or you are trying to be free from mind, because somebody has told you that unless you become free from mind, there is no awareness, there is no consciousness, there is no natural state experience. And then you understand this, and then you sit and fight. What instrument you have other than the mind? You have nothing more than that mind, you know. That doer is that mind. The moment you create a desire and go into any action, either outside or inside, is the mind. So inside fight, inside doing is also the mind. So that same mind is trying to fight with the mind and want to be free from mind. So you just sometimes create an illusory state inside that now my thought is stopped, my moment of thought is quiet. But then, how long? You can be successful in suppressing through your effort, but that the moment you get up, it comes back again. But that is just an illusory state. It's not really happening there. There is no freedom. Because if you are thinking that you are successful in throwing away this mind, that mind still survives there, which thinks that I have thrown the mind.
Cannot throw it.
And in daily life, it is so close together. You have to use the mind and the brain all the time.
Life automatically changes the gears.
Yeah, and then you have to use, for example, doing work, the mind and the brain, and then for a while this is fine, and you are in the flow and you are in the tune, and suddenly maybe
Unless you somewhere do not create a non-acceptance or a desire, then what is?
Yeah,
you know?
stress comes. Suddenly the pile of work is growing, and suddenly it's changing, and the mind creates the word stress. Stress is coming, and you become very tense, and suddenly you are identified with suddenly it is stress.
You are not clear.
No.
What are you trying to say?
That it is switching in daily life very often. For a while you are.
That's what I am saying, that switching is naturally happening.
Yeah.
And that switching is not according to the way you want it, the way life changes, the way life demands. So it is naturally happening. Now as you are describing that the piling of work, more and more work, and the mind starts getting frustrated or getting stressed. If you really understand at that moment, if you are really in flow, because sometimes we begin the work with the non-acceptance that I don't like this work and I have to do this work. See, if you look little subtle inside, that the life has given you this work and you have to do it, but you are starting the work with a rejection. So when you are starting a work with rejection, that rejection itself creates a stress point there. So the more work you get, the more stress you get.
Yeah, it's growing.
So the beginning point, if you say, okay, fine, if this is given to me, I will do it. I will do it as a worship, I will do it as if my responsibility. Then you flow with an acceptance, then any kind of work or any quantity of work will not create a stress. Stress, the cause of the stress is somewhere the non-acceptance. First, the way it is happening, you are not accepting, so you create a tension from the very beginning. And normally, we begin every work as if I don't like this work. I don't like this work. You always like somebody's work, but you don't like your work. You always think that the other person is happy, I am the most unhappy person. But that work is given to that person because life has chosen him to do that work, life has chosen you to do the work. You have to do it. It is not your choice. If that was available, then life would have given you the choice that now look, these are the work, what do you want to do? You have to do it. You have to flow according to the way life demands your responsibilities, your responses, and you go into action that way. But you have to remember that this is what my responsibility is and I will do it. A positive attitude, as we were talking about.
Yes. Sometimes I experience also sort of dullness or fogginess. Is that also a result of when...
It's a kind of reaction of non-acceptance. Yeah. So it starts getting dull, it starts losing the interest, it starts becoming stressful. It's all reactions of the mind.
Yeah.
But if you go deep inside and question why I am so much, then you will reach to that point where you begin with the non-acceptance. Whenever you like something, you will not get tired.
Yeah.
You understand this?
Yeah, yeah.
Anything that you like and you are asked to do it, you will not get tired. Why?
Because you don't fight with
Because you start with the acceptance there. And anywhere you start with the non-acceptance, then you are accumulating every kind of reactions. Then it becomes a burden. That work becomes a burden. I said you raised the finger.
Kiran, you're all the time talking about feeling or about things that we are unhappy with. But same
Same thing with the happiness.
with happiness
Yeah.
also to
Yes,
look and
same.
say, "This is the
Happiness,
moment."
unhappiness, joy, pain is the sensation. And that is a result of some change and moment of the life, the way it is creating the vibrations. What is sensation? Sensation is nothing but the vibration to the senses. The energy expression itself is a vibration. Anything which is an event also gives the vibration. That event itself is the expression of energy. Any happening is an expression of energy because life is energy. And energy is expressed into vibration. When I speak, you receive to your ears the vibrations of the sound, which is not visible. When you look, you receive the vibrations of the light. There is vibration, everything. Science has now found out that they can use this vehicle of vibration to reach anywhere because it is somewhere connected to the universal. That's why you can watch the TV, that's why you can connect to your mobile phone immediately. Far distance, you can listen at this moment with the same vibrations. So this vibration creates, because we are all sensitive to vibration, and the sense points are receiving the vibrations that we call sensations. Vibrations happening to each sense is a sensation. And each sense has different frequency to catch the vibration. The eyes only can catch the vibration of the light. The ears only can catch the vibrations of the sound.
I was asking about, let's say, happiness.
Yeah, happiness is also vibration. Now I am coming back to that point. Happiness and joy is the soft vibration which is coming from the life. The soft vibrations are of three kinds. One is harsh, soft and medium. All vibrations, whatever is happening, it is either harsh or soft. When we receive the soft vibrations from the events which is oozing out the soft vibrations, we feel joy, we feel happiness, but it's still a sensation. So when the body receives this kind of joyful sensation, it enjoys. That is why you call it, I am happy. When the harsh vibrations comes to your senses, it is painful because anything that vibrates fast creates the heat. The body always likes to enjoy not the heat but the coolness. because there is already the heat inside. So any cool vibration is a joy, is a happiness to the body. Then you see that I am happy. Anything which is harsh creates lot of vibrations and very harsh sensations. That is a pain, because this is beyond the bearing limit of the body. And sometimes, and what is then, the harsh vibrations creates the heat inside. When somebody is angry on you, he is throwing the harsh vibrations, and that harsh vibrations creates the heat inside, and that heat is felt as anger inside. If you are angry on somebody, you will start feeling the heat vibration inside. You will start feeling the strong vibration inside. The anger is a heat, so it is painful. So this harsh vibrations, in Gita, Krishna beautifully mentions this. He says in a one verse that matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama paino anityaha taum stitik shasva bharata. This is in Sanskrit. Matra sparsha means the sensation, matra means the senses, sparsha means the sensation. The sensation happening on the senses are of two kinds, he says. Shitoshna sukha dukkhada. Shit and ushna. That means shit means cool, cold, and ushna means hot and strong. Shitoshna sukha dukkhada means if there is a cool vibration, the soft vibration, it gives joy. Sukha. Sukha means happiness. Sukhada means giving happiness. And if it is harsh vibration, strong vibration, then it is dukhada, means giving you the pain. Then he says that agama, he describes the nature of these vibrations. He says agama paino anityaha. He says the vibration has, the sensation has the nature of coming and going. Coming and going. It comes and goes. Coming and going, and anityaha, not permanent. It is not never permanent. It is not going to be the same permanently there. It is going, coming and going, that means changing. Then he says, Taum stitik shasva bharata. Understand this, the nature of these sensations, and accept it, bear it, then you will be relaxed. That is what he says in Gita, very clearly. So joyful and painful, both are vibrations resulting into sensations. So it is the same. But what is happening inside with the mind when it is harsh, when it is painful, immediately a choice comes to reject. I don't like it. Then how to reject? Then further movement goes. If it is joyful, soft, then the mind goes, I like it. I want it more.
But
or I want it permanently.
In this point, where comes the acceptance? How to?
You have to accept the way it stays there. If there is a joyful vibrations, you accept that it is joyful now. Don't try to hold it, or don't try to demand more than it, or don't try to hold if it is going away. You see, if it is changing, that is the acceptance. Whenever it is there, how far it is there, you just accept. Same like pain, same to the joy. Because that is not in your control to hold it or to reject it, to possess it or to just be free from. It is just naturally happening, naturally happening. Taum stitiksha, bear it. Just stay with it, accept it, he says.
I don't understand this point. I think only of acceptance or remember it when there is a negative vibration or harsh vibration.
Wake up and remember that you have no freedom to change it. And that understanding at that moment that you have no freedom to change will result into acceptance. By chanting inside that I accept, you will not accept. Kiran says you accept. So you just close your eyes and tell yourself I accept, I accept, I accept. That will not help. Your understanding through your own observation, through your own experience, through your own inquiry will tell you that you have no control. You have no way to control it. You have no way to reject it. You have no way to possess it. Then this understanding automatically will bring you to that state of acceptance. Then what is left is to just stay with it. Staying with it is the acceptance. Is the acceptance.
Not from the mind. Not from the mind.
Understanding is always when you are separate from it. When you are attached to it, you don't have the understanding. You are totally with it. Totally with it. You have no way to think also at that time. So that is the way you practice. You might forget, but then after that happened, that you put yourself into pain, and then you remember that, God, I forgot to accept. Doesn't matter. In the beginning, this happens. But slowly, slowly, through your, because I am not only telling you to just accept, I am telling you to observe the nature of life. You observe the whole nature around. You observe your mind also. When you are sitting with yourself, what you should do is just to look, just to see how the life functions. Understand the nature of life. How the mind gets to the reaction, understand the nature of mind. This observation and your own understanding will give you somewhere an awakening inside when it is required. When it is required. When you are driving, who tells you from inside to change the gear? Your own practice, isn't it? Then you have not to remember that I have to change the gear, it automatically changes. When the danger comes, you immediately your legs go to the brake. At that moment, you don't say that let me now think that what should I do. In the meantime, you got the accident. This is very reflex action that happens through your understanding, because you have practiced driving and that has become your now knowing of driving. Something which becomes a part of your knowing, you have not to remember, not to remind. It just comes the moment when it is required. When it is required. This is what I am saying, that acceptance, if you practice it, it will not come. But if you, that is why I am adding one more word to the acceptance, with the understanding. Acceptance with the understanding. What is that understanding? That understanding through your observation, not that I give the knowledge to you. You see by yourself, you understand by yourself, you practice to observe, you practice to understand, you practice to learn. This will help you to keep that knowing available when it is required. I hope I make it clear.
Now I start to understand, Kiran.
Now? Oh God. Unfortunate part is I have no other word other than acceptance. That is misleading sometimes. Because that is somewhere puts you into some pessimistic mood, or that laziness, or it just gives you that I have nothing to do but to accept. No, I am not talking about that. If still there is confusion, please share with me. Don't get up with a confusion.
What you just said now is like, because it's also a kind of work because it requires your presence.
Yeah.
Requirements may be not the right word, but I have no other word. It requires the presence.
Right.
It's a kind of work also.
It requires your attention.
Yeah, attention.
Attention means to make yourself available at this moment, what you see now, what you listen now. This is what the observation means. It's the right perception. Krishnamurti uses this word, right perception, without any frame of knowledge. That means with your open eyes, with your naked eyes, you just be here and see. And that seeing will give you the understanding, the way whole expression of life functions and the nature of life that functions. And that is very important. Yes?
And it seems to me that it's very subtle. Like that, can it also be then that I also see my mind going
oh, Kiran said I must accept, so I must accept, and maybe then it will go away. And all these things happening, also I am to witness that.
But that will be difficult if you are still carrying my stick. That Kiran says you accept, then that acceptance will not happen the way you want it. I am also saying that let it be your understanding first, and that understanding automatically will put you into acceptance. You see. So I am just emphasizing on the acceptance because that is the key point there, but it needs somewhere a background of understanding. Then you will not forget it. If you remember that Kiran says, then you will forget it. You have to constantly remind yourself. That is why I am not giving you my stick to walk with. I am throwing you back to yourself that what work you have to do. Then you don't need me. Your own understanding will give you the clarity of acceptance. You understand what I am saying? So, first understand what I am saying, gather as a knowledge and use that knowledge in the right direction where you are going to be free from every dependency.
Sure, but it's like whether the mind says, Kiran says, or says, you should now accept, it's the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
The mind
Yeah, but then how long you will go on reminding, that is the problem, you know. So far as now my vibrations of telling you is strong, you will remember. When it subsides and it is cool, you will not even remember. Then you will go back to your own mind, your own non-acceptance, and you will just go into that. But your remembrance of your looking, your understanding, your observation will not leave you, will not allow you to go back to the non-acceptance. Your own understanding, your own knowing will not allow you to go to the non-acceptance. Then that will become your way of life. You see. So this is, I am adding along with this acceptance. I am not just giving you a command that start accepting. Yes, acceptance definitely will stop you from going back to the mind which is born out of the non-acceptance. But if you want to carry it as your nature and get a transformation, a permanent transformation from going all the time into non-acceptance, instead reminding yourself that you have to accept, you go with the understanding.